The best talent that we have is going abroad, and those countries are utilizing those talents. Those youth who only want a government job here are setting up their own businesses there and doing very well.
Yeah.
Why can't they do so here? Where your heart is, there only then you can get satisfaction. If you don't enjoy doing what you are doing, then there is nothing in it. So a lot of people want to come back, and for them money doesn't matter that much. It's what they want to do, what they want to achieve in life. That's more important. So satisfaction, wherever you get satisfaction, you go there, and a lot of people I see are coming back because they're not satisfied with what they're doing there. As in any field, politics is something which is the base. You are going to formulate policies. If you don't know what is happening in other parts of the world, if you don't know what is happening in your adjoining state, if you have something good happening in any other state in the country, then what's wrong in replicating it?
Definitely.
For that, I think to some extent education does play a role. So quality education is important. I think not only politics, I feel any field, unless you are well qualified, you have a good educational background, nowadays it is difficult to succeed.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for being on the Jantak show, and thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you for having me on your show, Manik.
Sir, I want to take you back 10 saal piche when you were the finance minister for Punjab, and I believe sir, Invest Punjab was established in 2013 in Punjab, and I'm sure you must have played a huge role in its establishment and ensuring the operations run smoothly, right? What was the vision, your personal vision and your portfolio's vision, and how did Invest Punjab, just get into it?
See, Invest Punjab basically was started with one issue, keeping one issue in mind, that the investor, firstly, he should feel confident
Okay.
to invest in a state, and then secondly, he shouldn't be running from one shop to other to get his NOCs, clearances. So that's why we created a one-stop shop, which was the Invest Punjab office.
Right.
He would just have to submit his applications there, and then the office of Invest Punjab would process the applications, get all the NOCs, and also provide all the help that was necessary to establish that unit or get that investment in Punjab. So that was the basic idea, and they would also provide all the investment incentives that were to be given under the various government schemes. So that was the basic idea, and it was quite beneficial. But I think at times again red tapeism catches up, and it's not. I don't feel it's operating at its optimum level. It is a good idea. Still, it is functioning well, but it's not operating as it should have been.
So ਕਿਹੜੇ back again 2012 ਥੋੜੀ ਟਰਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਮੈਂਟ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਜੋ ਮੇਜਰਲੀ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ that could lead to a lot of growth?
See, we were basically because his aim was not to look at one kind of investment, because you have to have all kinds of investment coming into state. But Punjab being primarily an agriculture-based state, agro-processing industry was also a big focus. Then a lot of people went in for expansions under the incentives that was being offered at that time. So that kind of investment came in. Then we had under agro, we had few agro parks that were established. We had ITC, which put in money. We had then this cycle valley. Then a lot of cycle units came up. So a lot of projects came up during that period. Yeah.
Sir, ਅਗਰ ਹੁਣ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ, as everyone know ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੇ debt ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ, right? And then I think investments coming in could be a contribution to the solution of coming out of debt, right? So do you see Punjab becoming a leader globally in any sector?
Yeah, I feel potentially we can replicate the IT sector model of southern states.
Okay.
In North India, other than Gurgaon, because Gurgaon has its locational benefits being close to
Definitely,
Delhi. Other than
geographical.
that, I don't see anything special in Gurgaon. And now people want to move from Delhi because of pollution, because of the traffic and all those things. Then I feel Chandigarh, Mohali especially has the potential to attract the IT sector. So IT can be a very important sector where investment can come in Punjab, and Punjab can be a leader because a lot of Punjabis, NRI Punjabis in the IT sector are working throughout the world, and they are keen to set up shop here.
डेफिनेटली सर आई एग्री विद दिस कि बहुत सारे जो इनफैक्ट मेरे बहुत सारे फ्रेंड्स हैं वो डायस्पोरा कनाडा यूएस दे वांट टू इवेंचुअली कम बैक दे हैव बीन वर्किंग इनटू आईटी सेक्टर सर आई हैव लाइक अ पर्सनल क्वेश्चन कि डू यू बिलीव एक पोजीशन होना ज़रूरी है टू मेक अ चेंज और डू यू थिंक कि एन इंडिविजुअल irrespective of their position can contribute to the growth?
It's a very difficult question. Yes, having a position, you can influence things faster and in a better way. But it is not that without a position you cannot make a change. You have so many examples where people who have not held any position of influence or any government position, they have made changes. But those people are revolutionary kind of people. They are not ordinary people. But I think anyone with a position of influence, if you have the vision, if you have the desire, then you can make a change. There's no doubt about it. So for people, yes, a position does matter, but for very extraordinary people, I think for them positions does not matter also.
Sir, I want to understand कि जो थोड़ी expertise है, right? You are not in power right now, but still थोड़ी expertise बहुत ही important है. So how do you think you can contribute to the development of Punjab or to the growth of Punjab with the kind of expertise you have?
See, we are doing a bit. Firstly, as now I'm sitting outside the corridors of power, and as I see from the sidelines what is happening in Punjab and the developments taking place, so on that I do give my critical views of how things can, because I think when you are in power, you also realize that what you think or what you thought was not the right way.
Okay.
Probably you realize because it's a learning experience,
Definitely.
And as you are in power, you keep learning, then you realize the shortcomings of each and everything. So now sitting at the periphery, now I can see what changes need to be made, and I can give my views. But apart from that, see, I think I always try to make whatever little difference that I can make. I'm running NGO. Then I'm part of, Sant Adar Singh Maharaj. We have a trust in our district, which is not a family trust. It is a public trust.
Right.
The ownership is with the people, and it was created by Sant Adar Singh Ji. So Dhindsa Sahab is the chairman, my father. So I try contributing to that. So in these different ways, I keep trying. And then you have people, if I meet someone, I try to, especially NRIs, I try to see that I try to promote Punjab in my own way, that we can get investment here. Then I also try to talk to bureaucrats and try to get issues solved. So this is how you try to keep making changes.
Definitely. So you have been active. You have been into active politics since your 20s, right? And like seeing the current system, there are a lot of young people into politics. what do you think has changed from, let's say, 30 years ago and now? Like, and how do you think we can encourage more and more youth to get into politics?
See, if you say that too much has changed, I won't say not too much of change has taken place as far as our thinking is concerned. I think the youth has the desire as the they can make the efforts to see a change in society. And when I started off, you were very ਅਸੀਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਯਾਰ ਇਹ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ. You had your fixed thinking, yeah, this is how it should happen, ਇਹ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਇਹ changes ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ. But slowly you realize, it is not always ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਉਵੇਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ. So you have to adapt, and secondly, you also have to contribute and make changes. And that is, I think, the youth ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਮੁਤਾਬਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਹ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਸਕੀਏ, ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਯੂਥ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਜੇ ਚਾਹੇ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ. ਸੋ ਉਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਿਹਾ ਯੂਥ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਦ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਇਰ ਟੂ ਕੰਟਰੀਬਿਊਟ, ਡਿਜ਼ਾਇਰ ਟੂ ਮੇਕ ਚੇਂਜਸ. ਬਟ ਇੱਕ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦੇਖ ਰਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਯੂਥ ਹੈਗਾ ਦੈਨ 20-30 years ਬੈਕ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੈਸੇ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਦੌੜ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੈ. They want to make quick money.
Yeah.
That is one thing I see that is different from the ਪਿਛਲਾ youth. ਉਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ they desire to make a quick buck. ਯਾਰ maybe ਹੁਣ too many luxuries of life ਆ ਗਈਆਂ and you've got access to those luxuries.
Consumerism.
ਹਾਂ, ਉਹ ਵਧਣ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ changes ਆਈਆਂ ਨੇ. So that is one negative thing that I see. Rest, today's youth is more technology friendly. I think they are much more aware, sharper. They're aware of what is happening all over. So ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਪੋਜ਼ਿਟਿਵ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ.
ਸਰ ਜੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਇੱਕ ਨੈਰੇਟਿਵ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ you get into a good university, ਬਾਹਰ ਵੀ if you get into let's say Northwestern, Oxford, Harvard, then you go, then you join a corporate company. I think वो भी change हो रहा है because I see a lot of politicians in Punjab who have been into great universities abroad, and now they've decided to, I'm sure that they could have easily gotten a very high paying job, somewhere abroad, and then but they chose to come back and work for Punjab. So I think एक भी like different opinion है कि people want to come back to Punjab and actually work for the politics here.
Yes, a lot of people want to, and especially it is where you find satisfaction.
Definitely.
You may not, you may be holding a, very prestigious degree, or you may have gone to a very prestigious university or school, but ultimately, where your heart is there, only then you can get satisfaction. If you don't enjoy doing what you are doing, then there is nothing in it. So a lot of people want to come back, and for them money doesn't matter that much. It's what they want to do, what they want to achieve in life. That's more important. So satisfaction, wherever you get satisfaction, you go there, and a lot of people I see are coming back because they're not satisfied with what they're doing there.
Definitely. So what's been your personal vision for Punjab? Because I've seen you working relentlessly for Punjab all the time. Irrespective of the power you have, or irrespective of the position you have been working, you have been able to connect to the people on a very personal level. So what's your personal vision, sir?
See, my personal vision is Punjab has a lot of potential which is not fully exploited.
Yeah.
I personally feel that rather whatever strengths we had, we have let them go. We've not utilized our strengths. You Punjabis are known for their entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
We have not promoted that.
True.
We are just, our youth wants, either they want a government job or otherwise they want to go abroad. I'm not saying 100%, but majority of our youth is this one concept that you get a government job or you go abroad. what about, everyone cannot get a government job.
Yeah.
So it is for the government to provide suitable jobs, to promote private sector. Then, even now, all the governments are, what they are promising is, we'll provide these many jobs, these many government jobs. And what people are looking for, they expect that you get government jobs.
Yeah.
We need to promote private enterprise.
Definitely.
Unless we do that, Punjab is not going to move forward. And then we have to enhance the skill of our youth. What previously we've been doing is, we've been imparting them education just based for degrees.
True.
They don't have the skill sets. And unless you have those, you cannot succeed. So the government has to make a very, concerted effort in this section. Our strengths, our resources, they have to be focused towards promoting our youth to create jobs, not to get jobs.
Definitely.
If we go in that direction, and for that you have to put aside money for that.
Yes.
The same money, either you employ more people in the government sector, or you promote people, their private enterprise. So I think that is where the government needs to focus now, and then we can stop our brain drain. We can stop our youngsters going from abroad. Going abroad is nothing wrong. I don't feel if you going for education, but going and settling there, I think ultimately that is what is harming Punjab's interest. The best talent that we have is going abroad, and those countries are utilizing those talents. Those youth who only want a government job here are setting up their own businesses there and doing very well.
Yeah.
Why can't they do so here?
Definitely.
So this is what I personally feel, that for this you need to have a proper plan, a proper structured government policy to look into this. And I'm sorry to say, even we've been in power, we failed to do so. The Congress government previous failed to do so. And I hope the present government, they come out with a strategy to boost this.
Definitely, sir. मेरा ये मानना है कि चलो abroad तक जा ही रहे हैं. Lot of Punjabi entrepreneurs started businesses like Zomato, Flipkart, Ola, Snapdeal. At Snapdeal, it was like the guy was my senior in my school. He's from Malod, right? But still, they did not set up their shop in Chandigarh or Mohali or Bathinda or Jalandhar or Ludhiana or Amritsar. They went to Delhi, right? Similarly, the AV, I would consider it a brain drain only कि पंजाब तो बाहर जाके कैसे
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
because
बाहर जा रहे हैं, हाँ.
because policies over there, ease of doing business over there, right? So sir, what do you think कि government का key role हो सकता है in accelerating the startups or just promoting, because एक और सर जो जैसे मैंने गल की हो रहा मैंने like how they promote jobs, so it's an outcome, right? कि job मिल गई वो एक थोड़ा outcome है, but वो जो process है कि skill development कि job तक पहुंचना किमें है ओरे ते focus बहुत घट है. The focus is on opening more opportunities, but what about the skills that you require for getting a job, right? ओरे ते focus बहुत घट है. And you rightly said, sir, जो degrees है, they don't equip you with the right kind of skill to get a job. So how do you think, sir, first question कि एक स्टार्टअप कल्चर ਨੂੰ सिर्फ स्टार्टअप्स ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਲਚਰ ਨੂੰ ਵੈਸੇ encourage ਕਰਨਾ, ਸਕਿੱਲ ਹੋਵੇ ਦੀ relevant skills for startups ਸਰਕਾਰ ਕਿਵੇਂ encourage ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ?
ਦੇਖੋ, ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ they have to set aside some money for this.
Right.
Without financial backing, you cannot succeed. You have the government kitty is the same.
Yes.
You put it one place, you put the other. Now majority of our money is going into paying our government employees. Yes, there are sectors in the government, the education and health sector, which need a lot of manpower, and there you need to have employees. But there are a lot of other sectors where you can cut manpower, and that money that you save should be put into employment generation or through promotion of private enterprise, and then only we started incubators here.
Yeah.
We set up aside 100 crores for that.
Okay.
But the government could not provide even 100 crores. Whereas for this kind of environment, to create this kind of feeding ground, for that you need probably many hundreds of crores. 100 crore would just be a starter.
Definitely.
But the government could not provide because they lacked the resources. So you have to put aside committed resources. Then you have certain people, successful businessmen, who can do hand holding.
Yeah.
They can help the youngsters. They can provide them all the kind of guidance that they need. And we have various organizations, FICCI and CII. They are doing these kind of things. We can take their support. We can talk to our NRIs based abroad who want to contribute to Punjab. We can help them. You ask them to help us, in promotion. So a lot can be done. I think I can just provide a few suggestions, but other people can maybe come out with even some better ideas.
Definitely.
So yes, we can, but it's just if you have the willpower to do it, then it can be done.
Definitely, sir. Something that has come up in a lot of conversations is कि education to politics the key connection है. What's the role of education in politics? And I've asked this from a couple of people, and they've had answers that were not really convincing. So I want to ask you कि education the exactly role की है. Do you think it's necessary for a politician to be
education
educated?
is necessary because it broadens your vision. Firstly, what education does is it broadens your vision, and at certain things you have to come out with out of box solutions. You have things that have been going on a similar way since long.
Yeah.
If you keep continuing that, then you cannot make a change. If you want to make a change, then you'll have to come out with something new, and that you can only plan or probably succeed in if you have at least quality education. I won't say you need certain degree, but at least you need quality education for that. And that's why, as in any field, politics is something which is the base. You are going to formulate policies. If you don't know what is happening in other parts of the world, if you don't know what is happening in your adjoining state, if you have something good happening in any other state in the country, then what's wrong in replicating it?
Definitely.
For that, I think to some extent education does play a role. So quality education is important. I think not only politics, I feel any field, unless you are well qualified, you have a good education background, nowadays it is difficult to succeed.
Definitely, sir. Thank you so much for your answer. Another thing that I see that's lacking in Punjab, having worked in an international organization with people from 100 different countries, I believe मेरी बहुत सारी learnings आई हैं when I interacted with people from different countries or when I traveled, right? So for example, when I was in Kathmandu, उत्थे बहुत सारे देशां दे लोग आंदे for various reasons, Mount Everest or just traveling around, because that's the culture जो उत्थे है. What I've heard कि 20-30 years ago, a lot of tourists used to come to Punjab, right, from various countries, from various states. But right now, I think that's not been happening a lot. And kite na kite we miss out on the diversity of culture. Not the Punjab is a diverse culture, but then the global culture, I think we lack that. So what do you think, how we can accelerate that, or how we can encourage more people coming from different countries to down to Chandigarh, maybe for some university, some exchange program? Like, what's your thought on this?
It's a very tough question. How you can do it. But it all boils down to, I think, one thing, as far as a tourist, I think you need to promote Punjab, because it's a gateway to most of, to Himachal, to Jammu Kashmir, and anyone especially any backpacker who comes to these parts, they have to pass through Punjab. And probably they are not aware of Punjab. We are not promoting Punjab enough.
Definitely.
In our, I read a lot of travel magazines also. I go through them. I've never seen too much promotion of Punjab. And certain places. So what can be done is probably for every, like for tourism, you can build a circuit, or put some circuit which is coordinated with Himachal or Jammu and Kashmir, or people traveling to these states, they can pass through and visit these places, and then that needs to be promoted. You need to create infrastructure for that.
Definitely.
And we had one time started this what is this place called? I'm forgetting the name. In Amritsar, where the confluence of Beas and Satluj.
Okay.
So over there, they wanted to set up luxury tents.
Wow.
This was around 8-9 years back. But we couldn't provide them the necessary, permissions. Either the forest was objecting or someone else was objecting, and ultimately they got fed up and left. So we need to, unless we have a infrastructure, people would come there.
Yeah.
It's a lovely location. You have a huge lake. You have confluence of two rivers. You have wildlife. You have a winter bird sanctuary over there.
Yes.
So we have things that we can promote, but for that, unless we create infrastructure, and for that we have to promote again private enterprise.
Definitely.
Government, if you expect government to set up such kind of infrastructure, it is not possible. Nowhere in the world has government succeeded in doing these luxury things. So I think we have to change our mindset, we have to change our working, and if being in power, we could not get these things done, or you could help someone, you can well foresee how tough it is for any other person. So I think that needs to change. The bureaucratic thinking, the political thinking, and I think then a lot of avenues open up. A lot can be done.
Definitely, sir. I think another tool for the growth of Punjab and for the growth of youth is definitely sports. And so you have been actively involved into sports. So before we get into that, if you can tell us what's your role in, because you have been on various committees. So how have you been contributing and supporting sports?
See, firstly, our family has been involved with sports since quite a long time. My father, he's been president of the Punjab Olympic Association.
Wow.
For around 40 years. Now he's quit a few years back after he felt he's getting old. I am also presently the president of the Cycling Federation of India.
Right.
And as far as cycling is concerned, I think we have. I am happy that we have done something. I am not fully satisfied, but at least we are one place which we, with our international body, the UCI, they set up their international satellite center of their main training center. The first satellite center in Southeast Asia and the second satellite center in Asia after Korea. We succeeded in getting that, and now we have a proper velodrome operating 12 months in a year, which used to just open up only when the competitions were taking place. We have students, youngsters from all over the country. We started a talent hunt program where we used to identify, we had our talent from throughout the country and get them to our training center. Then we got a Sports Authority of India to support us to set up an academy. And I'm happy to tell you that last year our juniors sprint team, they've got ranked number 1 in the world.
Wow.
Juniors. So we hope, we can take that. Now we have under Khelo India, we've set up 5 new training centers across the country. One is for road cycling and the rest are for track. So I'm happy that we are moving in the right direction, and we've tried doing our very little bit which we could, and I feel we can do more. Whereas Punjab is the nursery for most sports in Punjab. If we go to the background, and I think I feel one thing that now Haryana has overtaken us in a lot of sports, and we need to go back to the basics. We need to promote sports at the base. We need to encourage our youth to come to our fields, sports fields and grounds. Unless we do that, because now the youth is getting more attracted towards video games, phones, internet, social media. That has destroyed our basic, culture, sports culture that Punjab had. And for that, we need to, rather than building too many stadiums, we need infrastructure. But before that, we need to select talent. We need to have in every, rather than having a world-class stadium or 2 world-class stadiums in the whole of Punjab, we should have basic stadiums in all our subdivisions, where our youth can come, they can start playing, and they can start this, they can participate in sports, just basic infrastructure. And then from that, you need to identify talent and give them financial support. Because a lot of children, they back out because they don't get the financial support. Parents are poor, they quit. We need to provide that. And I think if we do these 2-3 kind of things, we can get back on track. And sports, one most important thing is, we talk of in Punjab, what we usually talk is that, in Punjab, drugs is a very big problem.
Yes.
And the biggest solution for that is sports.
Definitely.
So if we get the youth to step into the ground, you cannot, once you're in the ground, you cannot just watch on the sidelines. You'll go in there, you'll start kicking the football or whichever sport you are keen on, you'll just go and watch. Next day you'll start playing. So we need to get the maximum of our children onto the grounds. And I have done that at my own place. My son, I never let him play video games or social media. I pushed him to the ground, and now he's in cricket. He's playing for the Nationals under 25.
Wow.
He's just 21 years old. So I'm proud that, at least he's doing something positive. He's not wasting his time. So that culture you have to create, and that can be done in the schools, and for that you need government policy to provide benefit, financial incentives to our children. Things can improve in that.
Definitely. I think a personal story, a friend of mine was at a very hit the rock bottom in his life and was going through a bad phase, got into drugs and everything, but then bounced back and started to get into sports. They said, if triathlon, Ironman triathlon jo hundi hai, cycling, swimming and running.
Mm-hmm.
So he represents, he's from Nepal but studied in Chandigarh. So he represents Nepal in Ironman triathlon and one of the fittest persons I know.
Bahut vadiya, very
Definitely. So last question, if you come back to power as the finance minister, what would be the 3 policies that you would focus on that would ensure the development of Punjab?
See, firstly is you need to generate money. Punjab is cash strapped. And secondly, you need to cut down on expenditure. recently, the previous planning, the Finance Commission, they visited Punjab. And, these are difficult, not only things to say, but, to accept. They said Punjab is the highest per capita police force in the states. So you are overstaffed police force.
Yeah.
So I was very shocked. I said, how is it possible? We don't have policemen in our police stations. People always say whenever you go to a police station, there is no policeman there. Then I realized, PAP, Commando, and all those, so many battalions are sitting in our reserves.
Yeah.
And so we need to cut. So I come back to the Finance Commission. They said your police is highly overstaffed, and that is your biggest money drainer. I was shocked, and now because no one can say that word, because ultimately if something happens, either on the law and order front or any other, due to some foreign disturbances in Pakistan or whatever, then the onus will fall on the government.
Yeah.
So it's a very difficult decision, but ultimately someone will have to bite the bullet. You have to take corrective steps. Firstly, if you improve the financial position of Punjab, that is the base to all the solutions. Unless you do that, you cannot provide, you cannot incentivize industry, you cannot promote good education, you cannot provide good facilities, you cannot develop infrastructure. And so these things, this is the base. I think a few days back I also gave a statement in the press that whatever Bhagwant Singh Mann has announced, his intentions may be good, but ultimately it will boil down to where is the money coming from? First you said that house in order. You have to work on that, and see now today they announced 35,000 people will be regularized. Nothing has taken place, and probably I've been told that they've backtracked.
Oh.
Second was 25,000 new jobs. Probably they've backtracked on that as well, because they don't have the resources for that.
Yeah.
They said we'll provide 1,000 to every woman. That is not happening. 300 per unit is not happening. Why? Because Punjab finances are in a very bad state. So if I was given an opportunity, yes, we will have to take difficult measures. We have to cut down on certain subsidies. Subsidies not for the poor man, but subsidies which are going to people who can afford things.
Definitely.
You need to prioritize your money spending. You cannot give to people who already have such resources. You have to distribute your equitable distribution of your resources.
Definitely.
So that you have to do, and for that decision making is the most difficult part. Anyone who does it, I think people may get annoyed with him. People may not be happy with him, but he will be doing a big benefit or a big service to Punjab forever. So this is what needs to be. And I think whosoever will at some stage in, you will have to do that.
Definitely, and I think the decisions that we take define who we are as a person, right? So I want to thank you for your contribution to the Punjab and your family's contribution. You have been working relentlessly. I have been an active follower about all the statements that you have been giving, and I believe your expertise, your wisdom can be used for the betterment of Punjab. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Manik. Thank for your words, and maybe I may not be deserving, but still I am thankful for your kind words. Thank you.
So I think that's a humility.